The main goal of this refactoring is to remove some dependencies and to put our classes in a better organized structure. And we have a few classes in the engine project that we can currently move out to their eventual homes. They don't have any dependencies preventing us. And that's what we'll do now. The first thing we'll do is we need to add some project references. In the engine project, right-click on Dependencies, add Project Reference, and we'll need to set a reference to soscsrpg.models, because now we're going to move some of the classes into the Models project, and the existing models, the ones we're leaving behind, need to use them. So we need to add this reference. And you'll also need to go into soscsrpg.viewModels and add a project reference to the engine project, because we're going to move one of the view models into the view model project, and it needs to see the models that are currently in the engine project. The next step is to move the character creation view model from the engine project into soscsrpg.viewModels. And you can do that by just right-clicking on the class and doing a cut from the engine project, and then right-click on the View Models project and paste the class into that project. Once we have the Character Creation View Model class in the View Models project, we need to go into it, and I want to correct the namespace. This will say, the namespace before will be engine.viewModels because it was in the engine project in the View Models folder, and that's just kind of how namespaces are built by default. We don't really have to change this. You can name your namespaces whatever you want, but I like to have it follow the correct structure, follow the structure of what project is it in and then what folders is it in. So we'll modify the namespace here to soscsrpg.viewModels. Once we do that, any class that uses the character creation view model now needs to have a using directive for soscsrpg.viewModels. That's how it's going to know where to look to find that class. And this view model is only used by the character creation dialog in WPF-UI. So the next step will be to go into WPF-UI character creation.xaml. And here on line 7, where we set up the namespace for view models, which tells us where to look for the view model on the next line, we need to set the namespace to soscsrpg.viewModels, so it matches the namespace we have here in the class, in the viewModel class. And then we need to change the assembly to soscsrpg.viewModels, because this says what DLL to look for this class in. And we'll also have to go into the character creation.xaml.cs and set up the using directive for soscsrpg.viewModels, since that's the new home for the character creation view model class. The next set of files we can move out of the engine project are the event args. I've already moved them here into the models project. The event args really aren't models, but our models are going to have events that raise these event args, and our view model is going to subscribe to the events on the models looking for these event args, so they kind of fit in with the models. It's not a 100% perfect fit, but I think it's going to be the best place for them to reside. And if it turns out it's not, we can always make a change later on. But for right now, you just need to go into the engine project, right-click on the event args folder, cut it, and then paste it into the soscsrpg.models project. And that should bring over the Combat Victory Event Args class and the Game Message Event Args class. Then, just like the view model, we're going to go into each of these classes and update the namespace. So it's going to be in soscsrpg.models.eventargs. So we'll match the project name and then the folder. Do the same with the game message. Set the namespace to soscsrpg.models.eventargs. And just like with the XAML page, we now have to find every place that uses these classes and make sure we have a using directive for this namespace. In this case, it's going to be the battle class in the engine models. So we'll need to set up a using directive for soscsrpg.models.event.args here. We also have it in the message broker class in the engine project and in the main window.xaml.cs. This is what's subscribing to some event args, so we need to have its visibility here. And now we'll follow the standard pattern of cleaning the solution, rebuilding the solution, making sure we don't have any errors, and then running the game to make sure that it still works the way we expect. And it looks like it does. If you have any questions about the changes that we made today, please leave a comment below the video or on the support page, and I will get back to you as soon as possible.